We did it. We did it. We're through to the semi-finals, yes, but we did it. Another away clean sheet. Is this the same team? This is unbelievable, guys. 2 away clean sheets in a row. Yes, we're through to the semi-finals, but just so proud of the team. Most of all that we got that clean sheet, because I was worried that Napoli would score tonight. In fact, I would have put money on it. I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would have put money on Napoli scoring tonight. But luckily, they were pretty awful in front of goal. They had some big chances to score, but they don't have Lacazette, do they? Although we've got Aubameyang. What's up with his finishing lately? I don't really understand what's going on there. Is it a lack of confidence? But luckily we've got Lacazette on hand to score an incredible free kick. Brilliant. Just completely wrong-footed the keeper. And of course that was 1-0 up away from home. That means they needed 4 goals. So Napoli really didn't have a chance tonight if we were to score. And we did. And I would have put money on that as well. I was a little bit concerned going into this game that we would crumble away from home again, but it hasn't happened. So I'm just so incredibly happy that we managed to keep another clean sheet. Now, just below me, you'll see the other results. So we've got Frankfurt going through against Benfica. They actually won 2-0 at home tonight, which means they go through on away goals despite losing pretty badly to Benfica in the first leg. But Frankfurt having an incredible season. They're now through to the semi-finals, and they will be facing Chelsea, who have gone through after a 4-3 win at home against Slavia. Yeah, I don't understand how they're conceding 3 goals to these guys at home. I haven't seen the Chelsea lineup. I'm guessing they've made a couple of changes there to rest some of their key players. I think Hazard was tipped to start though, wasn't he? So don't know what's happening there, but they go through 5-3 on aggregate. And then we have Valencia beating Villarreal 2-0 on the night and 5-1 on aggregate. So there is going to be no Santi Cazorla back at the Emirates. That's just one thing I was really excited for. That if we could go through and Villarreal could beat Valencia, I'd rather play Villarreal than Valencia if you ask me. But it would have meant that Santi's coming home. That would have been so sweet. So those are the other results. Let me just go ahead and hide those. We don't need them up anymore. So we now know that Arsenal will be playing against Valencia in the semi-finals and Chelsea will be going up against Benfica. Now, quick prediction. I think Benfica might be able to do something. Not Benfica. What am I talking about? Of course, it's Frankfurt. I expected Benfica to go through. That's why in my head I keep thinking about it. I actually think Frankfurt could do a job against Chelsea. I really do. They're very underrated. And I still plan on doing a career mode with them at some point because they've got such a fun squad. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how Frankfurt will do against Chelsea. I think we can beat Valencia. I think Arsenal have got themselves into a really good position here. Clearly, our away form is improving. This will do wonders for our confidence. So, I don't know what leg is coming up first. I hope it's the other way around. I want to play away first and home second. That is, I think, the best way to get through these things a little bit easier. Of course, it doesn't really matter. But if you can, I would say playing at home in the second leg is a slight advantage because if you're stronger at home, which we are, any damage that's been done, you can recover. Whereas if you lose heavily at home in the first game, it's just kind of game over, isn't it? So I would prefer that. I'm not sure if it's even official yet or if I've just not seen it. But I think that we can deal with Valencia. I think Napoli are arguably a stronger side. I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe that could be the question of this video. Who is the stronger opponent, Napoli or Valencia? I saw the draw against Napoli and thought, well, it's not really going to get much harder than that. An away night against Napoli is extremely tough. But we've come away with a 1-0 win. A lot of people will say, oh, it's just the Europa League. Pfft. But let's say it was a Champions League fixture where we had Napoli away. Or if any team had Napoli in the Champions League, a quarter-final, let's say, beating them away from home and at home is a hell of an achievement for any team. So you can give me all that rubbish about how the Europa League is pointless because, do you know what? I agree. The group stages and quite often the knockout stages as well, up until the quarters and semis, they're under par. The quality of the tournament is much lower than the Champions League. But when you get to the quarters, the semis and of course the final, you should, in effect, have the best teams. So it's going to get tougher. Those games against Valencia will be tough, but I have every confidence in our Unai Emery red and white army to go there, do a job away from home and finish them at home as well. So feeling confident right now. Let's talk about the performance of each individual player. There is the lineup. Of course, we had Cech in goal. Thought he actually had a very good performance, but you guys know my thoughts. I want to start Leno in every game, and I think every club should have a main keeper that they just play when he's fit, because it just doesn't seem right to have individual keepers for individual tournaments. But hey, it seems to be working. Cech is doing a very good job for us at the moment, so well played. Maitland-Niles was solid again tonight. A couple of first touches that went astray, which does frustrate me because he does get a lot of the ball in this setup that we're playing. It's a very attack-minded setup, but when we defend, we seem to use the wing-backs as an outlet. We don't seem to go central very often. It seems to go out wide and then in. But maybe that's just something I saw tonight. Every time Maitland-Niles got the ball, I was always worried he would potentially make a poor touch. And it happened a few times, but going forward and going back defensively, he was solid. So well played to him. Socrates had a very good night as well. I think that all of the defenders did very well tonight, actually. Koscielny and Monreal, I think, along with Socrates, that should be our starting back three if we're going with this setup. And it seems to be working really well. And it means Mustafi doesn't get near this team. So I'm all for it. I thought, actually, Monreal had a much better game than his performances of recent times. He's been a little bit underwhelming, if you ask me. And Kolasinac, again, a couple of things, just like with Maitland-Niles, where maybe a touch lets him down or he just overruns it. There was a few occasions where maybe if he just released it a bit earlier, we could have had another chance. But we didn't concede. The defence did a good job, even though we should have. Open goal chances that they missed. They really could have scored tonight, Napoli, and I'm surprised they didn't. Moving on into midfield, we started with Torreira, Xhaka and Ramsey. Kind of like a triangle. Ramsey's done his hamstring, which is bad news because he's really in form at the moment. Arguably our best player along with maybe Lacazette. And hamstrings, typically, you're looking at weeks, not days. Possibly even just over a month to 2 months. So it could genuinely, and it's really sad to say this, it could genuinely be his last appearance for Arsenal. We don't know the damage, the extent of the injury yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of a while. Hopefully not the end of the season for him, though, because that would be a really sad way to end it. But I should say, Torreira and Xhaka, I wasn't actually that convinced today. I thought we controlled the game for the majority of the match. And I would say more of it going through Xhaka, of course. He gets on the ball and he's always the one to make things work. But I thought Torreira had a bit of a quieter day today. He didn't seem his usual self. He looked tired. So maybe that's actually what the problem was. Maybe he's just feeling a little bit tired. But Mkhitaryan came on for Ramsey. Did an okay job. Mkhitaryan is in and out of form all the time. He's not a player that I would look to win a game, put it that way. But he has that potential, I guess. He can come on and change the game, provide an assist, score a goal, and he did okay. Up front with Aubameyang and Lacazette, big fan of them playing together. I think they complement each other really well. Aubameyang, again, not good enough tonight. Would have liked to seen a goal from him, but he does work hard and he helps the team. There's no doubt about it. And Lacazette, of course, got the only goal of the game with that fantastic free kick. His movement off the ball, just like Aubameyang, is very good. They run a lot, they close down, and they chase after the ball a lot, which is an underrated thing for strikers to do these days. You get a lot of these teams that have their one striker up top who just sits in the dangerous areas, doesn't work too hard. But both our strikers work really hard, and I'm a little bit gutted that they haven't actually been scoring more recently. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is Arsenal Player of the Year. They've announced the nominations. Who do you think should be winning Player of the Year for Arsenal? Because I've narrowed it down to 3. I think it has to be either Leno, Lacazette, potentially Ramsey. But the problem is Ramsey wasn't spectacular at the beginning of this season. So I think it either goes to Leno or Lacazette, but Arsenal fans and anyone, let me know who you think has been Arsenal's best player of the season so far. It seems early to be calling it, right? Because it's only April, but in quite literally 6 weeks, there's going to be no more football. What are we going to do? So, can you hear that dog, by the way? That is so loud. My window's shut as well. So, of course, that means we're through to the semi-finals. We're still in the top 4 race. Things are looking better away from home. It could be a real positive result, this, for the mentality of this squad. It might give us another push. We've still got plenty of away games to come up in the Premier League. And, of course, that trip away to Valencia. And then if we make it into the final, that will also be an away game at a neutral stadium. So I can't remember exactly where it is, isn't it? In Azerbaijan this year. But it's going to be tough. I don't think that we will win every away game left this season. But tonight certainly will help with the confidence. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do drop a like on it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you comment down below who you think Arsenal's player of the season is. And I will see you in the next episode very soon.